All right, everybody. It looks like we are live and ready to go. So let's get started with our class talking about English superstitions and using the first conditional. Now, while everybody is coming in, we'll just wait a few minutes while everyone comes in. I can see that we're starting to get more and more people entering the room here. Looks like we've got 2, 3, 4. All right. 3 people at least. Well, while we're waiting for others to join, go ahead and tell me who's here so I know who I'm talking to. Today is going to be a very interactive class, so I need everyone to participate using the chat bar as we go. So if you have just entered, or if you're one of the few people who have already got here, go ahead and type your name into the chat. Or if you don't want to type your name, just tell me where you are in the world, which country or which city are you in? So you can either type your name or you can tell me where you are. Oh, it looks like we're getting some of them coming through. Looks like we have some in Spain. Excellent. All right. Very nice. I'm also in Spain. So for those of you who have had these classes before, you've probably heard me talk about it. But yeah, I live in Madrid. That's where I am. So very nice, Berlin. Nice to see you here. Anybody else? Who else is here? Where are we from? Oh, look at that. We have Christina from Spain as well. Delphine in France. All right, lots of Europeans here today. This is great. This is good stuff. All right. We have Serbia, Dubrovka. Excellent. Hello, Dubrovka. Nice to see you here. Well, all right. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. So today we're talking about superstitions in English. So if you know what superstitions are, this image here that we have, this cat probably gives it away. Superstitions are these beliefs that we have about things that don't necessarily make sense. Just beliefs that we have that don't necessarily have anything to do with science. So that's our topic today. We're going to talk about some superstitions that we have in English. I also want to hear some that you have in your different countries and the different places that you live. So some different ideas. And as we do all of this, we're also going to practice using what's called the first conditional in English, which if you've ever been to an English class at maybe an intermediate level, you've probably seen the first conditional before. So maybe this will be a review for you, or maybe this will be the first time that you see it. Either way, I'm going to try to challenge you a little bit, and we're going to try to use this in different ways. All right, so we're going to talk about something a little bit different than you might be used to. Looks like we have some more coming in. We have Raimonda from Italy. Excellent. Great to see you here. All right, let's get started. So to begin with, I want to give a definition of what a superstition actually is. Okay, so you see some pictures here that probably give you an idea. We have our black cat, we have our cards, we have our horseshoe here. That's what that's called. And a superstition, the definition is an unjustified belief in supernatural cause and effect. An unjustified, meaning there's no scientific basis in it. There's no science. Nobody has said that this is true scientifically. And an unjustified belief in supernatural cause and effect. Right. So this is saying that one thing causes another thing. One thing causes the effect in a different situation, and there's no science at all to support it. Right? There's no science at all to support it. Right? That's basically what we're saying a superstition is. And I'm sure that we all have things that we believe in that don't necessarily have any scientific, basis or any scientific, reasons. And so that's actually what I want to know. I want to hear from you. I want to know what some superstitions are that you have in your culture. So we have people from all over the world here. So I want you to tell me right now in the chat bar, I want you to tell me any superstitions that you can think of in your culture. So today I'm going to tell you a lot of them from mine. I'm going to tell you, I think we have 7 or 8 different superstitions that are really popular in English that any English person or any English speaker will probably know about. But I'm curious what there are in your cultures, because in every culture they're different. I've talked with people around the world, and everyone has different superstitions. Even sometimes the same cause will have a different effect from one culture to the next. Like I know, for example, that this cat here, for me, would probably be unlucky. But I know that there are also some people in different places around the world where it would actually be lucky. Right? So for you, I want to know what kind of superstitions you have in your culture. Right? And I need you to type that into the chat bar as on the side of the screen here. Okay, the same place that you typed in your names and then you typed in where you're from. I want you to type in what superstitions are popular in your culture. All right, let's see what we got. Let's see what you can give me. Maybe about the black cat here, maybe about these cards. These are called tarot cards. T-A-R, I think there's one R, O-T. There might be two R's. Tarot cards. But yeah, they predict the future. And then this one right here, this would be is called a horseshoe. A horseshoe. Right? And they're supposed to have good luck. They're supposed to bring good luck to you. So I'm curious, what do you have in your culture? What superstitions are popular? And again, today we have to be we have to have a lot of participation. We have to have a lot of participation today because this is a lot of give and take. I want to hear what you have to say. All right, I'm starting to get them in. Let's see. So we have excellent. We have this one: walking under a ladder can give you bad luck or can be unlucky. Very nice. Very nice. Let's see. Where opening an umbrella in the house is bad luck. Okay. Very nice. We're going to see some of these. I think we have some similar ones in English that we'll see. What else do we have here? Wearing red underwear on New Year's Eve brings good luck. I'm going to remember that one, Belen. That's an important one. I didn't know that. Wearing red underwear on New Year's Eve, along with eating the grapes, right? In Spain, you have to eat the grapes on New Year's Eve. Oh, and we have spilling salt all over the table. Absolutely, yeah. I wonder what happens if you do that. I think you have to throw it over your shoulder if you spill salt on the table, right? Yeah. Okay, looks like we have other people saying salt on the table. So salt is a good one. All right, very good. All right, good. So it looks like we have lots of different superstitions around the world, a lot with salt, the umbrellas. We're actually going to see some of those same ones today. So let's keep going here. Let's get going. All right. Now, before I share with you all of our superstitions that we have in English. Ooh, four-leaf clovers. That's a good one, Delphine. Yeah, four-leaf clovers. That's an Irish one, I think. That's a good one. So before I share with you what the English superstitions are, I want to practice, or I want to show you how to use or how to write superstitions, because I see a lot of you writing a lot of good ones here, but I want us to write them in the correct way. All right, so let's see what we can do. So this is probably the most famous one, the most famous superstition that you'll see. I think everyone has some version of this, and I'm not sure why, but everyone has some version of this one. And it says this: it says, if a black cat crosses your path, right? That's how we say it. It crosses your path, meaning it walks in front of you, right? So if you're going in a straight line and it walks like this, then we say it crosses your path, right? So if a black cat crosses your path, you will have bad luck, right? Everybody knows this one, or at least I imagine you do. If it's brand new to you, then hey, great, you learned a new superstition. But everyone seems to have some version of this. And this is a great example of how in English we can use what is called the first conditional, right? And the first conditional is a way in English that we can show cause and effect. We show that one thing causes the effect in another situation, in another place. Okay, so in this case here, a black cat crosses your path, you have bad luck. But there's a specific way that we need to write this. And it looks just like this right here, right? Every time you see a conditional, it's always going to start with this word if. Okay, so we're going to have if to start with. Then you have the verb in the sentence, and it's always going to be in the first conditional in the present simple tense, right? So in this case, that's crosses. Right, because we have a black cat. If we say I, then we say cross. If we say you, then we also say cross. But if we say it or he or she, then we say crosses. Crosses. Okay, so we always use the present simple tense for the first conditional. And in the second part, we are going to have the word will and the infinitive form, which don't worry about the infinitive. That just means the base root form, the simplest form of the verb. Okay, so we always have these elements in the first conditional. We have if with the present simple and will with the infinitive. If with the present simple and will with the infinitive. Now, the biggest mistake that I hear people making, I hear a lot of people make this mistake, but the biggest mistake that I hear is when someone puts will and if in the same part of the sentence. They'll say something like, if I will go, right? If I will go, or if a black cat will cross, right? Will cross your path like that? No, that is not how we say it, right? That would be wrong. Okay, so if you ever find yourself putting if and will in the same part of the sentence, the same part of this comma here, if you ever put them in the same part of that comma, then you know that you're making a mistake. Okay, they need to go on separate parts. Okay. All right, we need to remember that. Now, that's the first conditional. That's the simplest form of it. It's not complicated. Just because it's called a conditional doesn't make it complicated. So let's practice now that we have this idea here. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to share with you the first half of some common superstitions that you see in English. All right, some really common ones that you see in English. And I've seen this one on a couple of others as well. And your job in the chat bar is to be the first person to finish the conditional, and you have to do it in the right way. Okay, you have to give me the second half of the conditional in the right way. Now, if you don't know how to finish this, right? Maybe you've never heard of this superstition before. That's okay. Guess. Who cares, right? Just put something in there. So, but the first person to give me the second half of this superstition in the first conditional in the correct way, I don't know, wins the game. Gets the points for the day. Wins the English class. Why not? All right, let's see. So if a man walks under a ladder, and this right here, this is a ladder. Right? I know that some of you, those of you in Spain, I know that you would probably call this escalera, along with the ones that you have in the building. But we have different names for those stairs, and this here is a ladder. This picture here. All right, let's see. What do we say? Looks like we have Delphine was first. Delphine says, if a man walks under a ladder, he will have bad luck. Absolutely right. Oh, no. Yes. Yeah, he will have bad luck in a specific way. He will have bad luck because something will fall on his head. That's the superstition that we have here. If a man walks under a ladder, something will fall on his head. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think a lot of superstitions, we could very simply say you'll have bad luck, right? A lot of them, I think that they can very simply end that way, right? Walk under a ladder, you have bad luck, but this is a little bit more specific, I think. But yeah, if a man walks under a ladder, something will fall on his head. I think that's good. Excellent. Oh, we have some more people joining us. We have Irina here. Excellent. Nice to see you. But excellent. Yeah. Okay. So something will fall on his head, or he'll just have general bad luck. But absolutely right. We have to use that word will and the infinitive here. Something will fall on his head. Excellent. Raimonda says, if a man walks under a ladder, he will hurt his head. Yeah, absolutely. He will definitely hurt his head because something will fall on it, right? Or maybe he hits it as he walks through. I don't know. All right. Let's see. Good. That's the first one. That's the first English superstition that we have. Let's go on to the next one here. Here we go. I know that this one exists in a lot of cultures as well, but let's see. So if someone throws a coin into a fountain, and now notice that I don't say fountain in my normal speech when I'm normally speaking. I'm not going to say fountain, actually. I know that there's a T there, but if you listen to me, this is the American accent coming out. Then I'm actually going to say the word fountain, not fountain, but fountain. That's just the American accent. You can very easily pronounce it with that T, fountain, and it's perfectly fine. That's a perfect pronunciation. So, but if you hear me pronounce it differently, we all pronounce things a little bit different. All right, so I need it. I need your answers. So if someone throws a coin in a fountain, what will happen? What will happen? Yes, Belen, he will get good luck. He will get good luck. Better, he will have good luck. But let's get more specific than that. I want to hear. I want to get more specific because this one is a bit more specific about throwing a coin in a fountain. When you throw a coin, usually you say something or you think something while you do it. Usually you throw it and you're thinking something or you're doing something while you throw it. Let's see. Christina says he will be rich. Maybe he'll be rich. Delphine says he'll become happy. It could be. Yeah, all these could be the answer. All of these could possibly be the answer. They're all written correctly, so I'll take them. But there's a little bit. It's a little bit more specific because you throw a coin and you think something specific when you do it. Sarah says if someone throws a coin in a fountain, he will be rich. Okay, so maybe this is what the superstition is in Spain. I don't know, but I've always had it a little bit different. I've always known it to be a little bit different than that. Yes, Delphine. There we go. That's the one. He will have his wish happen, or better said, his wish will come true. That's the way that we say it. So when you go to a fountain, you take the coin, you throw it in the fountain, and you make a wish. And when you do it, your wish will come true, right? So all of you could, we could say that you were correct. He will be rich if he wishes to become rich. He will be happy if he wishes to be happy. Right? But his wish will come true. So whatever he wants, whatever he wishes, it'll come true. Yeah. Good. Yeah, there you go. Belen, that's another way to say it. A wish will be granted. Very good. A wish will be granted, like by a genie. A genie will grant his wishes, right? Very good. All right. Excellent. So that's number 2. Here we go. Here comes the next one. Number 3. The next superstition. Here it is. No. Oops. Well, number 3. All right. So if a child swallows an apple seed, so you're eating an apple, or a child is eating an apple and accidentally swallows the seed, what will happen if a child swallows an apple seed? What will happen if a child accidentally swallows an apple seed? Ooh, could be bad. Could be real bad. What will happen if a child accidentally swallows an apple seed? These right here. These seeds right here. Yep. So you're eating the apple, chomp, 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 and you get to the seed and you accidentally eat it. What happens? Or what will happen to that child? Let's see who's going to get it. Yes, there we go. We've got it. We've got the answer. Let's see if anybody else has it as well. I think we might be on a little bit of a lag here, so we'll see if anybody else has the answer. But yes, that's exactly it, Delphine. A tree will grow out of his stomach. You say it will grow into his stomach, but no, it will grow not into, but out of his stomach. A tree will grow. Well, okay. So a tree will grow in their stomach. Right? And even better than that, we could say it will grow out of their stomach. So it will grow and grow and grow, and eventually it will be too big to be in the stomach anymore. Right? So if a child swallows an apple seed, an apple tree will grow out of their stomach. Now, I want you to notice something here that I said there. Now, Delphine in her answer says his stomach. We could also say her stomach because a child could be a boy or a girl, right? So we could say it will grow out of his stomach. It will grow out of her stomach. We could say it will grow out of his or her stomach. That's also possible because in English, remember, we don't have genders for our words. So child could be masculine or feminine. But a really common way to get around that, a really common way to do this is instead of saying his or her to choose a gender or to include both genders, often we'll just say their. We'll just say their instead of his or her. It's just a way, if we don't know the gender of somebody, we just say their or they, and it usually just avoids the problem of not knowing the gender, right? So we have an example of that here. All right, good. So that's number 3. Looks like Delphine is winning with 2 answers so far. So an apple tree will grow out of their stomach. All right, here comes the next one. Here comes the next one. Now, this one is different in the US and the UK. This is the one that I know is very different in the two. But here it is. If you knock on wood, like that, if you knock on wood, right, that's our superstition. That's the first half. I need the second half from you. Now, what I know that they say in the UK and maybe in different places as well is instead of saying knock on wood, they would say if you touch wood, you touch wood. Right, so not. So knock is kind of more specifically like what you do on a door, but in the UK and maybe other parts as well, they may say that you touch wood, but it's the same idea, right? We need to do something with wood. Do something with wood. All right, let's see. What do we say? If you touch wood, if you knock on wood, what will happen? What will happen if you do this? Oh, very good. Looks like we've got an answer. Looks like we've got an answer. Let's see if anybody else has it. What will happen if you knock on wood? Yes, exactly right, Sarah. You will avoid something bad happening. Very good. You will avoid something bad happening. I also see it said a different way. Delphine says nothing bad will happen. Nothing bad will happen. Exactly right. That's the same idea, and very good because we have that word will. But absolutely, we can say if you knock on wood, bad things won't happen. Bad things will not happen. So again, just like we can say will not and won't in regular sentences, in these conditionals, we can also use won't for the negative. Right? Excellent. All right, so if you knock on wood, bad things won't happen. Or in the UK, if you touch wood, bad things also won't happen. Right. So if you say something very bad, if you say something that could cause something bad, like for example, if you are driving in your car and you say, "Oh, wow, thank goodness it's not raining." Like, "Oh, at least it's not raining." Right. What's the next thing that's going to happen? Of course, it's going to start raining. And so that's why we need to touch wood or knock on wood to prevent it from happening. Very good. Good answers. All right, here we go. Here's another one. This one I've seen from several of you already. So here we go. What will happen if you open an umbrella indoors? What will happen if you open an umbrella indoors? Just like our shady character here. Look at this guy. Look at his face. He knows he's doing something bad. He knows he's doing something bad here. So what will happen if you open an umbrella indoors? Indoors inside of a house. What will happen if you open an umbrella indoors? All right, we've got some good ones here. Yes, I think that's the best one from Christina. Christina was first. You will have bad luck. Yes, absolutely. This one is very simple. Most of them are more specific, but this one, no. If you open an umbrella indoors, you will have bad luck. And we're going to put a little full stop there, a little period there. If you open an umbrella indoors, of course, you will have bad luck. You should only do that outside. Yes. Good. Delphine, you say bad luck will happen. I think better to say you will have bad luck. This is a good structure right here. Good way to say it. Have good luck, have bad luck. Okay. Good, 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 good. All right, there we go. That was an easy one. All right, there's one more. This one's a little bit tougher. This one might just be from my childhood. I don't know if everybody knows this one, but I want you to try to guess. All right. So my hint is that it rhymes. Okay. So this one rhymes. So if you step on a crack, this right here is the crack in the sidewalk or in the pavement. And if you step on it, something bad will happen and it rhymes. All right. So I want to see what you can come up with on this one, if you have any ideas, because this one is a bit tricky, I think. This one is a bit tricky. And by tricky, I mean it might be impossible because it might just be something from my childhood. But we'll see. What do you think happens if you step on a crack? Or what do you think will happen if you step on a crack? What will happen? Ooh, that's a good one, Delphine. Yes, absolutely. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a good guess. You will get in a trap, or we could say you will fall into a trap. You could say, yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. I like that one. That's not the answer, but that's a good guess. That's a good guess. Sarah says the crack will open and swallow you into the earth, right? Maybe it's possible, but that's not it either. That's not it either. No, it has nothing to do with it. It's not logical. Remember, these superstitions are not logical. There's no logic to this. Christina says you will fall down. Probably, that's probably the most likely solution, right? That's the most likely thing that will happen. You step on a crack, you'll fall down. But once again, no, that's not it. I'm going to tell you this one because there's really no way that you get this, but it was something that I remember, a rhyme from my childhood. And I'm going to tell you, and it's actually pretty bad. It's a pretty bad one. You don't step on cracks. I never step on cracks when I walk, because if you step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back. You'll break your mother's back. So be very careful when you're walking and you see the cracks. I remember even my mother used to tell me this. She would tell me, don't step on cracks, because she wants to keep her back. So there you go. But if you step on a crack, you'll break your mother's back. That's something I remember, a rhyme that I used to hear when I was a kid. So about a superstition, I don't know. I don't know if this one really counts as a worldwide superstition, but it's a fun one. And here's the last one. Okay, this is the last superstition that I have for you today. The last superstition is this one. If you break a mirror, what will happen if you break a mirror? What will happen if you break a mirror? This one, again, is a little bit more specific. Okay, so it's not just bad luck. There's something more specific to it. So what will happen if you break a mirror? If you break a mirror, ooh, we got two answers at the same time. Two answers at exactly the same time. So what will happen if you break a mirror? This one's very important. This one's very important because it can last for a long time. Got to be very careful with those mirrors. Yes, absolutely. I see it 3 times. Very good. Looks like Sarah's number 1. Sarah's got it. You will have 7 years of bad luck. Very good. Yeah, so not just bad luck, but you will have 7 years of bad luck if you break a mirror. 7 years of bad luck. So you have to be really careful with those mirrors. You have to be real careful. I did some research on this one. I didn't know why we have this superstition. It turns out that in a lot of in a lot of places, or especially in history, they've always thought that mirrors hold part of your soul in them. They hold part of your soul in them. And so if you break one, it's like you're breaking your soul, and it takes 7 years to fix it. So that's why they say you have 7 years of bad luck. Little fun fact there that I didn't know. But all right, very good. So we have this one once again. Yeah, you will have 7 years of bad luck. 7 years of bad luck. That's exactly right. It looks like this is the same around the world, this superstition here, breaking a mirror. So very good. Now, so those are our superstitions. Okay, so those were what, 6 or 7 superstitions that I've heard my whole life that are really common, really popular in English. And so I want to move on now, and let's talk about them in a little bit of a different way. Okay, so we saw those before with the word will, right? If you step on a crack, you will break your mother's back. If you open a door, an umbrella indoors, you will have bad luck, right? That's how we write superstitions. But we can also write these sentences just a little bit differently. Okay, so we don't have to always use the word will. We can also say this here. If you step on a crack, you may trip and fall. Just like, let's see, I think Christina said this one, right? You will fall down. If you step on a crack, you may trip and fall. That's absolutely possible if you step on a crack. We have this one here. It says, if you open an umbrella indoors, you'll have bad luck, of course, because it's a superstition, but you might hit something. You might break something in your house. So we have other things that could happen. And the last one here, if you walk under a ladder, something could fall on you. Right? Again, we said that something will fall on you in the superstition, or something, we could say something could fall on you. We could also say that. Right? So I think that a lot of people, they always think with the first conditional, and you have it in your mind, and it's very clear in your mind. You say if with the present simple, will, and the infinitive, right? Those are the 4 parts. If with the present simple, will, infinitive. But there are actually alternatives. These words can also be used. May, might, and could. May, might, and could. And what these words do is they add an element of probability or possibility into the sentence. Right? If we say will, then we're usually very confident that something is true. Right? So if you see a black cat, you will have bad luck. I'm very confident that you will have bad luck. All right. But when we use these words may, might, and could, that's showing that there is maybe some possibility or probability and not 100%, not definite. So when we use these, we can use them a little bit differently. May and might show that we have a medium to high probability of something happening. If you walk under a ladder, something may fall on you. There's a good chance that something may fall on you. Right? If you open an umbrella indoors, there's a good chance, a high probability that you might hit something. Okay, so we show that there's maybe, a lot of times we'll use percentages. We could say somewhere between maybe 75% more or less. 75% more or less probability. Now, some people ask me, is there a difference between may and might? And my answer is no, absolutely not. We use them just about exactly the same way in these situations. Okay, so you don't need to think, should I say may or should I say might? They're basically the same thing. And they're about 75% probability, or just most likely, right? Not definite, but probably. Okay, you might hit something, okay, with an umbrella. With could, though, we're showing possibility. We're showing something a little bit different with could. With could, we don't know the percentage. We don't know how probable it is. We only know that it is possible. It is greater than 0%. It is higher than 0% chance. That's all we know. Okay, so if you step on a crack, you could trip and fall, or you could be okay, or you could, I don't know, see a black cat. I don't know. There are so many possibilities. Anything is possible. Anything that is possible can use the word could. Okay, so may and might are for when things are quite probable, are very probable. And could is for when things are simply possible. They could be very likely or not very likely. It doesn't really matter with could. Okay? Now, if you have any questions about this, now is the time to ask in the chat bar, and I'll be happy to answer them. But if not, then we're going to continue, and we're going to practice with these a little bit in a bit of a different way. All right? So we'll go ahead and move on. If I see any questions, then I'll come back to them. Okay, but remember that we can use these words, may, might, and could. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at another superstition that exists out there, or maybe not even a superstition. This one might actually be true, but this one is called the butterfly effect, and it may be known as different ideas, as different things around the world. But in English, the butterfly effect is the belief that a small action in the present can have large effects on the future. That a small action in the present can have large effects on the future. And we call this the butterfly effect because I think it has to do with if a butterfly flaps its wings in one part of the world, then it can create a hurricane in another part of the world. That's the idea with the butterfly effect. If it flaps its wings in one place, there will be a hurricane in 2 years in another place because of all of the effects that it has. Okay, so when small actions in the present affect the future in big ways, that's the butterfly effect. And so we're going to practice using these conditionals, this first conditional with may, might, could, and will, so all 4 words. And we're going to do that by creating what's called a conditional chain. This is where one action affects lots of different actions in the future. So we're going to do this first one together, but I need you to participate once again because, well, that's just how we're doing it today. You have to participate. So here we go. The first one says this. It says, if Tom, this is Tom down here, if Tom drinks too much coffee, he, not she, he will have a lot of energy. Of course, right? That's cause and effect. If he drinks too much coffee, he will have a lot of energy. Of course, right? So what will happen if he has a lot of energy? And this is where I need your help. So we need to fill in the story about Tom. So I need your help. I need you to help me create some effects here. So you need to write full sentences in the first conditional telling me what will happen if Tom has a lot of energy. So what will happen if Tom has too much energy? That's where I need your help. All right, so if Tom has a lot of energy, what will happen? Dun, dun, dun. And I'm going to take the first good answer that I see, the first one that's written in a good conditional sentence, a good first conditional sentence. That's the one that I will that I'm going to add to our conditional chain here. And I think you're going to see how it goes. And I need full sentences from you. I need the full sentence. So if Tom has a lot of energy, what will happen? What will happen? If he has a lot of energy, let's see. If Tom has a lot of energy, ooh, I like that one. I like that one, Belen. That's a good one. That's coming straight from our last class last week. Very nice. I'm going to take this one. So if Tom has a lot of energy, he will knuckle down at work. I like that one. He will knuckle down at work. Very good. He will knuckle down at work. I like that one a lot. And we could, of course, say he might knuckle down. He could knuckle down. Any of these will work. But for those of you who weren't in our class last week, we know that knuckle down means to work very, very hard for a set period of time. For a short period of time, to work very hard is to knuckle down. If you have a big test coming up or you have a big project at work, it's time to knuckle down. So here's our sentence. If Tom has a lot of energy, he will knuckle down at work. All right, that's good. So here we go. Now we need to see the next effect of this. Okay, so we need to, again, in the chat bar, I need you to give me a full sentence starting with this part here, right? So notice that we said if Tom drinks too much coffee, he will have a lot of energy. That goes there, right? So now once again, we need to put this part into the beginning of the next part here. So what will happen if Tom knuckles down at work, right? So what will the effect be of that? So again, I need full sentences from you here. Full sentences from you. All right, let's see. And again, yeah, full sentences. If it needs to start with the word if Tom, dun, 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 dun. There we go. Good one from Sarah. It says, if Tom knuckles down at work, he will get a salary raise or he will get a raise. Excellent. I like that one. So if Tom knuckles down, he will get a raise. I like it. Excellent. And now notice something here that we have the word knuckle down in two different ways now, right? In the first one, we said he will knuckle down without the S, no S on that one. And then now we say if Tom knuckles down, right? Because remember, in the first conditional, we need to have the present simple there, right? So that if Tom knuckles down, he will get a raise. Excellent. I see some other good ones. Belen says if Tom knuckles down at work, he will be promoted. Very good. He could ascend in his job. I like that one. Yeah. Get a raise or get promoted is good. Delphine says if Tom knuckles down at work, he will have a promotion. Very good. All right. So I think we're all on the same page on this one. That if Tom drinks too much coffee, he will have a lot of energy, which means he will knuckle down, which means he will get a raise. Okay, so we need one more effect here. Okay, so I need one more sentence. I need one more time. So what will happen if Tom gets a raise? And now this one I want to see with the word might. Okay, I want to see the word might on this one, not will. We've got a lot of will here. So give me some might. So if Tom, let's see. Here we go. We need them good. We need good ones here. All right. Okay, that's a good one, Christina. That's a good one. All right, let's see. So what will happen if Tom gets a raise? What will happen if Tom gets a raise? If he gets a raise. Yeah, okay, good. I think the first one I had was from Christina. Very good. If Tom, let's make sure we say, oh no, wrong one. There we go. If Tom let's make sure we say gets. If Tom gets a salary raise, he might buy a new house. Very good. I like that. We'll take that one. If Tom gets a raise, he might, what did we say? Buy a new house. Buy a new house. Excellent. Sorry for my handwriting. I'm trying to write on this screen here. It's not the easiest thing in the world, but he might buy a new house. Belen has another answer. He might buy a new car. So again, remember with might and with could and with may, we can have other answers. Right? So we can have lots of answers here. So he might buy a new house. We could also say he could buy a car. Buy a car. Absolutely. Yep, Delphine says he might move into a new house. Absolutely. So lots of possibilities here, right? And so now what we can say is if Tom drinks too much coffee, by the butterfly effect, by the cause and effect, by lots of different things happening, if Tom drinks too much coffee, he could buy a new car. If Tom drinks too much coffee, he could buy a new car. All right, sounds good. Sounds good for Tom. All right, I think I'm going to go get a cup of coffee here. All right, very good. So that's a good one here. So we've seen a couple different full sentences in the first conditional. Let's go to another one. All right, we have another butterfly effect to see. All right, so here's a good one. We have our friends here. These are my two best friends in the world. Their names are Sammy and Austin. Okay, Sammy and Austin, and they want to play the lottery. Let's figure out what will happen, or what might happen, or what could happen if they play the lottery. So I need your help. I need you to help me out here. So if Sammy and Austin play the lottery, what might happen? What could happen? What will happen? What may happen? Let's see. I like to be optimistic in these kinds of things. I think let's try to go optimistic here. Why not? So what will happen, or what could happen, or what might happen if Sammy and Austin play the lottery? What could happen? If they play the lottery. Yeah, good, good, good. All right, I like these. I like these ones. Belen has the first answer. They could win lots of money. So we're going to write that one in. Yes, they could win lots of money. Very good. They could win lots of money. I really like Delphine's answer. They could they could win a lot of green. I like that. That's good. Nice slang there. A lot of green. Sarah says if they play the lottery, they could become billionaires. Absolutely, billionaires. Right. Good for them. Good for them. They could become millionaires, says Christina. Not quite as ambitious, but I like that too. Millionaires, billionaires. At that point, who cares? And then Raimonda says they could win a lot of money. So very good. All right, so we're going to stick with that one. They could win lots of money. Right, very good. So here's the next one. So what's the result of that? If they win lots of money, what could happen? What will happen? What may happen? What might happen? What are the possibilities if they win lots of money? And again, I need full, perfect, complete English sentences in the first conditional. If with the present simple, will, may, might, or could with the infinitive. We need to get them perfect here. You don't need to say their names. You could say they. They is fine, right? Instead of saying if Sammy and Austin, you can say if they. That's perfectly fine. But we need to get a full English sentence here. So if they win lots of money, what will happen? What could happen? What might happen? What can we say? What can we say? Oh, Raimonda, they might travel all over the world. That's very good. I like that one. Good. All right, the first one comes from Sarah. It says they could travel to space, and I like this one because it's gonna be more fun. If they win the lottery, they could, what do we say? Go to space, travel to space. They could travel to space. Excellent. I love it. If they win the lottery, they could travel to space. Raimonda says they might travel all over the world. Christina says they could leave their job. The infinitive. If they win lots of money, they may travel the world. Very nice. And Belen, if they win lots of money, they may travel around the world. So it looks like we have most people traveling around the world and only one person, fortunately the first one, going out of the world, going to space. Okay. So we're going to keep going with this one. So we got to get a little crazy now. Notice that it's not, we're dealing with very unlikely situations. So probably the best word to use is either may or might, or probably even better, could. Okay, so I need the next one here. If they travel to space, what could happen? What will happen? What might happen if they travel to space? Let's get creative here. What can we say? If they travel to space, what might happen? What could happen? What might happen if they travel to space? The first answer goes in. The first one to give me an answer gets the points. Gets to I don't know. Gets to start. It gets to be on the screen. So what will happen or what could happen if they travel to space? Oh, Belen, excellent one. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I'm going to take that one. Yes, if they travel to space, they might meet aliens. Good. If they travel to space, they might meet aliens. Might meet aliens. Very good. Very good. All right, let's see what else. Raimundo says they might visit interesting places. Absolutely, there are lots of interesting places in the universe, I imagine. Delphine says they might be boring on Earth after. Okay, so be bored on Earth after. So after you go to space, of course, you return to Earth, and now everything is very boring, right? Yeah, they might be bored on Earth. Very good. All right, but we're going to keep this one. So if they travel to space, they might meet aliens. Yes, good. Okay, now what's the result of meeting the aliens? That's the big one here, right? So what's the result of meeting aliens? What could happen? What may happen? What might happen? Probably not what will happen, because it's not very likely to meet aliens, is it? But I guess we could say it. But if they meet aliens, what could happen? What might happen? What will happen? What can we say? I'm excited to see this one. It's monumental. It's the first time it's ever happened that we know of. Let's see. If they meet aliens, what could happen? What might happen? What may happen? All right. Good. Let's see. Give it another second. Yes. All right. Good. Belen has another good one here. I really like it. If they meet aliens, they will make new friends. Excellent. If they meet aliens, they will make new friends. Very good. I like it. I like it. If they meet aliens, they could see ET. Absolutely. Yeah. Good. All right. So we have our friends here, Sammy and Austin. If they play the lottery, they could win lots of money. And if they win lots of money, they could travel to space. And if they travel to space, they might meet aliens. And if they meet aliens, they will make new friends. So by the butterfly effect, we can say if they meet aliens, if they play the lottery, they will make new alien friends. Okay, good. All right, I like it. Very good, Christina. If they meet aliens, they might learn a new language. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the alien language. Good. All right, we have one more. This will be the last one for today. The last one. And this one is something that my mother always told me, but I never knew what would happen. She always just said, don't go outside without a coat. So I want to know what will happen, or what could happen, or what might happen if you go outside without a coat in winter. What could happen? And this will be the last one. So let's see. If you go outside without a coat in winter, what will happen? What could happen? What might happen? Hmm. Hmm. Let's see. Let's see. Belen, that's a good one, right? So I think this is the clear one, right? If you will have a cold, but I don't think we should say you will have a cold. To have a cold is to already have one. But I see Raimonda says this: you will catch a cold. That's good, right? So when we receive, or when we first get a new disease, or we first get something, a good word to use here is to catch a cold. So I'm going to put that one in. So you'll catch a cold. You'll catch a cold, right? Excellent. Very nice. So yes, good. You will catch a cold. I'll take that one. Very good. All right. And what will happen if you catch a cold? All right. So keep the chain going. What will happen if you catch a cold? Or what might happen? Or what could happen? Or what may happen? So many possibilities here. If you catch a cold. Now, notice that while you're writing that, notice that there is a difference between to catch a cold or to have a cold. And also we have another one, to be cold. To be cold. Again, sorry for my handwriting. And these are a bit different. So we have to catch a cold and to have a cold, meaning to be sick, right? And then to be cold is like this girl in our picture here, where she's shivering because she is cold. To be cold. So be careful with that one. All right, so if you catch a cold, what will happen? I need a full sentence. Belen says, if you catch a cold, yes, if you catch a cold, you might go to the doctors. Very good. If you catch a cold, if you catch a cold, you might go to the doctors. If you're like me, then probably not. I don't like going to the doctors. You might go to the doctors. We'll write it down here, doctors. Very good. If you catch a cold, you might go to the doctors. I see some other good ones here. Christina says you will have to do a quarantine. Absolutely, today. Yes, of course, you will have to quarantine yourself. Delphine says you might not be able to go to work tomorrow. Also, very good answer. Yep, good. So if you're cold, or if you have a cold, or if you catch a cold, you might go to the doctors. That's the one we're sticking with. So what will happen? What might happen? What could happen if you go to the doctors? Right? What are the possibilities if you go to the doctors? All right. So what could happen? What might happen? What will happen? What may happen if you go to the doctor? Let's hear may. I haven't seen anybody using may today. Let's use may for this one. So what may happen if you go to the doctors? What may happen if you go to the doctors for your cold? What may happen? Let's see. This girl just looks so miserable, doesn't she? She looks so miserable. All right, let's see. All right, I see some good answers so far. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, we'll take this one. Yep, Christina, very good. If you go to a doctor, you could be hours waiting. We're going to say it a little bit differently. We're going to say if, let's say if you go to the doctors, And we're going to say this, we're going to put this last part a little bit differently. You could wait for hours, If you go to the doctors, you could wait for hours, or you could be waiting for hours. Absolutely. Very good. Very nice, very nice. Oh, I like that one, Belen. If you go to the doctors, you might find your neighbor at the hospital. Yeah, maybe. Okay, well, so here we go. This is the last one. So if you go to the doctors, you could wait for hours. And what are the results of waiting for hours? If you go to the doctors, you could wait for hours. What are the results of this? What is the end result of this one? If you go to the doctors, you could wait for hours. What is the result of waiting for hours? What could happen? What may happen? What might happen? What will happen if you wait for hours at the doctors? If you wait for hours at the doctor's office or at the hospital, what will happen? All right. All right. Good. Let's see. So here we go from Belen. It says, if you wait for, oh no, sorry. If you wait for hours, you might end up going to your house without seeing the doctor. Okay, so you might not see the doctor. Good. Absolutely. Yeah, good. Sarah says, if you wait for hours, you will end up annoyed. Absolutely. Absolutely. We have this one, you'll be hungry. Very possible. Very possible there. All right. If you wait for hours at the doctor's waiting room, you could catch other diseases. That's the one I was thinking of. So I'm going to write that one, Delphine. Very good. If you wait for hours at the doctor's, if you wait for hours at the doctor's, you could catch something else. Another disease. We're running out of space here. Disease. Excellent. Right. So good. So if you go outside without a coat in winter, then you could end up waiting for hours at the doctor and catch more diseases than you would just by going outside without a coat. Very nice. All right. Very good, everyone. Excellent class today. I like this. This is a lot of fun. All right, this is what you need to remember. You know, these superstitions, they were a lot of fun, but the thing to take away from this, the most important part, is about this first conditional, okay? So again, the problem that I see the most from people with the first conditional is using if and will together in the same part of the sentence. If you just keep them separate and you always keep them separate, then you're going to be okay. All right. Remember that we can use will for things that we are sure will happen, and we can use may, might, and could for possibility and probability. All right, everybody, thank you so much for coming today. That's going to be the end of our class about English superstitions. If you enjoyed this class, then the best thing you can do for me is just simply subscribe to my YouTube channel here and like it and do all of those things that everybody always asks you to do. But yeah, that's it. So thank you all for coming, and I'll see you next time. Delphine says, one question, what's the difference between might and may? Delphine, the difference between might and may, a lot of times you'll see that may is more probable than might. You'll see that in a lot of English textbooks, but honestly, in normal conversation, in normal English, they are used exactly the same way. So I don't like to think of them as anything different. They are really exactly the same thing in my mind, okay? Now, again, in textbooks, it might tell you something different. It might say that may is a little bit more probable than might. But again, for me, they're the same thing. Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I will be doing more of these. So if you subscribe and you click that bell icon, then you'll get notified every time I do one of these classes. All right. Great. See you guys. See you next time.